Hello and good evening or good morning or perhaps good afternoon to all of you. Welcome to this verbling class. My name is Teacher Amy and today's class is all about distraction. I think this is something that everybody in 2015 has to deal with at some point. And if you were trying to learn a language, I'm sure that it's especially relevant. So if you would like to talk about this problem, or maybe we shouldn't call it a problem. No sound. Thank you. Oh, not again.
I
okay.
can't hear anything. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm going to start this class again.
Hello.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
now I can hear you.
Excellent. Thank you for letting me know about that, Martin. Otherwise, I'm chatting away to myself and no one can hear. Okay, so I'm going to start again and welcome all of you to this verbling class. My name is Teacher Amy and today's topic is distraction, which I was saying before, I think is something that living in 2015, all of us have to deal with in some way or another. If you're learning a language, I think perhaps it's especially important. How do you get yourself to concentrate and not be distracted by the million things that are around us all day, every day, pinging and beeping, so that you can actually learn something? We're going to read a really interesting article today, which is reasonably long. We probably won't have time to finish this, but you're very welcome to finish it by yourself. And along with discussing the theme of distraction, we will also be practicing our pronunciation and hopefully learning some new vocabulary. So do come along in if you've booked a slot with us. And while we're waiting, let me just let you know that there are a couple of pages that you can check out if you would like some more information, or if you just want to keep in touch with some people on Verbling. Now that you've joined us, you might want to have a look at my Verbling Teacher Facebook page, or the Facebook page of any of the other Verbling teachers. If you like a few of the teachers, perhaps that's one way of staying on track as you go through your working week. The other place to go, if you would like more information, is to the Verbling Teacher page, which is where you'll find everything, hopefully everything, you need to know about a particular teacher. You'll see their schedule, so that includes both slots for private tutoring sessions and also their classes. You can see who they are, where they're from, you can watch some of their previous videos from different classes and their introductory video. And you can also write us a message. If you have any further questions or you just want to get in touch, then do go over to the Verbling Teacher page and use that wonderful messaging feature. So, that all behind us, let's get back to the topic at hand and say hi to everybody. So, Martin, first of all, how are you doing today?
Very well, thank you. And you?
I'm great, thank you very much. Our topic today is distraction. Sorry?
And the weather has improved a lot recently here in Copenhagen. So
excellent.
We have had a day.
That is very good news, and hopefully it will be on its way to summer now.
Yeah.
What I was going to ask you, Martin, is how does the concept of distraction play a role in your life, if at all?
Not so much anymore. You know, I retired last year, and I just do what I liked at the moment. So when I was younger, of course, it was more difficult then, and you could get distracted, but I thought I've dealt with it, I remember. So I've never really felt it was a problem.
Well, that is great. It's good to have you in the class. What types of things? Do you remember any particular things that would distract you, or would it depend on your mood?
It was more when I was young, I liked to do math problems a lot. And I knew if I started doing a problem, I would just go on and on until I've solved it. And that could be difficult then, because then I was not able to do very much in my problem.
Got addicted to maths.
Computer programming, and it was the same thing, that when you are really working on a program, that's just you're just using all your time on it and can't really get time for anything else.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think this is something that's quite personal. We'll find out whether I'm right or wrong, but to me, I think people get distracted by very different things depending on who they are. So we will find out. But thank you for sharing with us, Martin, and welcome. Okay. Ksenia, hello, and how are you today?
Hello, I'm fine, thank you.
Nice to see you. How do you find distraction? Does it play any kind of a role in your life?
Yes, of course. While I listen to you, I check my social networks on my
You're so
iPhone.
honest, Ksenia.
Yes.
All right, so social networks, I think, is probably going to be one that comes up a lot. And Ksenia has already admitted that she's checking her social networks right now. So none of you have got anything to feel bad about. Ksenia, what do you do about it? Do you try to, I don't know, do you try to stop yourself from being distracted, or do you just sort of freely go with the flow in your life most of the time?
No, I think it's my part of my life nowadays, so it's okay, I think, because I have only a few hours per day to check my email, to answer some questions, so I try to mix and lessons on verbling with checking.
All right, so in other words, you're kind of using it to like save time and maybe do a bit of multitasking, and it's not too much of a problem for you.
Yes.
Okay, interesting. Thank you, Ksenia. That's a great start. So we've got Martin and Ksenia so far. Let's say hi to Diana. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you, Diana. How are you?
Pretty good.
All right, I'm going to ask you a question about distraction as well. What do you get distracted by?
Well, mainly with WhatsApp.
Okay.
So in some cases, I'm working or studying, and I cannot stop to check my mobile because everyone is like speaking.
Yes.
So it's very difficult.
Okay. So do you try to resolve this problem in any way? And how do your attempts to resolve it work out? Are they successful or not?
Okay, in a time, I close all the notifications and all the ringtones of the application. But
Yep.
also, if I'm going, for example, I'm going to sleep. So and everybody's chatting at 10 p.m. or more. That is the special time that everybody wants to chat. So I prefer to turn the mobile off, to be honest.
All right. So sometimes you do turn it off if you want to sleep. What about if you're trying to concentrate on something, like when you're at work or doing some kind of a task?
No, I have to put my mobile on in another part, different.
Move it away from you.
Yes.
All right. So even though you turn it off, maybe you still can't control your urge to check your phone. So you've got to take it somewhere else in the house or in your office.
Yes. It's like
oh, it's really so I'm not alone.
Something very special.
Yeah. No, I think that's definitely something other people do, Diana. I've had to do that myself. All right, thank you. That's great.
Okay.
Okay, so welcome to the class. All right, we have 2 cats in this class, Ali, so I just want to warn you that your budgie may be in danger. Just a side note. We have 3? I can only see 2 cats. So Daniel and Anna Carolina may be a threat to you. Just wanted to point that out. Okay, Daniel, hello and welcome.
Hey, hello. Good to be here.
Yes, it's great to have you. Have I met you before?
No, actually, I think it's the first time.
All right, well, welcome and hello. It's nice to meet you.
Thank you.
So, Daniel, tell us a bit about yourself. Where are you from?
I'm Brazilian, from Brazil.
and which part of Brazil? Do you live there at the moment?
Yeah, I'm living in the southern part of Brazil. It's a state called Rio Grande do Sul.
Okay.
It's close to Argentina border.
Ah, all right. Okay, great. Well, welcome. Tell us about your attitude towards distractions in your life.
Well, it's pretty bad because the thing that most distracts me is the internet, and I have to work on the internet because I'm a software developer and programmer, and I work at home most of the time. So I need to be on the internet because I need to communicate with my team. And in the same time, the internet is always distracting me because I'm procrastinating on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. So it's a nightmare.
I understand 100%, Daniel. Funnily enough, like, I think a part of the time, obviously, I work on the internet too. When I'm teaching, obviously, a distraction is not really a problem. But when I'm doing my other work, I find exactly the same problem. I have to use the internet, but as I'm going through my routines, all these things pop up, and I find myself just clicking on them without even noticing what I'm doing. So maybe we can find some kind of a solution to that today. Who knows? Let's hope so.
Yeah, let's hope so.
All right, Anna, hello.
Hi, Amy. How are you?
How are you today?
So far, so good. Thank you.
Great. Okay, so Anna, tell us about you. How big a part of your life is distraction?
Teacher, like everyone else. Well, and I have to confess that now I have more than 7 files opened.
Can I ask what they are, Anna? What kinds of things are they? Are they all social networks?
Yes, social network, my email,
Facebook, Pinterest,
Facebook,
email.
Google, Twitter, my Skype. A friend of mine was sending me a message asking about a supplement for working out, what I think of it. And I was answering right now, and I thought Ksenia answer very funny because I do the same. And well, sometimes when I am in a lecture room, I watching a speech or something like that, I start scribbling in a piece of paper, or I turn on my cell phone to play Candy Crush Saga. It's very addictive. Yes, I love it. But when I am working, I keep a focus on what I am doing. You know,
Okay.
I don't know how I do that, but I do.
Okay, well, Anna, you've got a special gene that we need you to share with us. What is your job, may I ask?
I am a dentist teacher.
Okay, you're a dentist. Now, I am relieved to hear that you don't check Facebook when you're working, I must say. Because that would be slightly worrying if you were the patient. Yeah, just keep your mouth open. Hold on a second. All right, that might explain it, Anna. Okay, thank you. That's great.
You're welcome.
All right, Ali, hello.
Hi, Amy.
How are you today?
I am fine, thank you. How are you?
Excellent. I'm great, thank you. All right, tell us about distraction, Ali. Do you get easily distracted?
Sometimes, yeah. It depends what I am doing, and I don't have too much problem with technology as the other students. For example, and I don't use many applications on my cell phone or on internet. I don't spend too much time. For example, when I join the class in the day at my office, uh, I am a kind of worrying if somebody come, my customer or my friend, something like that. Sometimes my ring bells and uh, people ask address, or sometimes beggars, they are distracted me. And uh, for for me, when I have a problem, any kind of problem with my family, with my customers, with my friends, it's distract me. I think a lot about that, and I can't concentrate my work or my studying.
Yes, that's a really good point, Ali. I think this is true for me as well. It's not just about technology, but sometimes if you're worried about something, that can be really distracting because every time you try and think straight, your brain just goes on to the problem that you're thinking about.
Yeah. For example, if I have a problem with my close friend or something like that, when I am in class and talking to you, I think different thoughts in my mind, and sometimes I can't understand what people say to me.
Yeah, yeah. It's much more difficult in a second language. I understand that 100%. All right, thank you, Ali. That's very interesting and a new point to consider. So welcome to you. And let's say hello to Alexander. How are you?
Hi, I'm okay.
Good. So Alexander, tell us about you and your experience of being distracted.
So I can only give you one example, and it's related to Warbling. And while I'm taking classes here on Warbling, sometimes social networks is distracting me. Some messages pops in my telephone, and keeping that thought in my mind sometimes can distract me.
Yes, absolutely.
And I just sometimes reluctant to check my messages or to answer them.
All right. So, what about when you're at work? Do you find it a problem when you're at work, or do you
Actually,
concentrate?
I'm a student currently, and but I also work part time. And during my work, I just don't have a time to be distracted.
Yeah.
Because I have to be focused on my job, mainly doing engineering.
Yeah. Well, it sounds to me like you've got it quite sorted out, Alex. You're a bit like Xenia. You allow yourself to be distracted in certain areas or at certain times, but generally you're quite good at concentrating. Okay, that's awesome. Well, welcome to the class. Who else do we have that we need to say hi to? We have Dom. Hello, Dom.
Hi, Amy.
Nice to see you, Dom. Welcome to the class.
Thank you. So I don't know how to start to talk.
That's okay. I was going to ask you something, but it sounded like you were ready to tell me something, so I was just pausing there for a second. We've been discussing distraction, which is what we're going to read about in a few minutes. And we've been sharing the things that make us distracted during the day. Sometimes people say it's technology. It could be things that we're worrying about. Some of us find it quite easy to concentrate and aren't worried too much by distraction. How much does distraction affect you?
I think it's very common to me because especially just talking about learning English. Actually, I'm trying to learn in English because I have to take an exam for between 2 or 3 months, but I don't have a schedule, and so I try to focus to many topics. So sometimes, even if I'm trying to learn in English, I feel to don't follow the better way because sometimes I put attention in some topics and sometimes I change and I go to another topic that distract me for another, even if I am in a one field.
Yeah, that's a good. I think that must happen to other people as well, Dom. So you mentioned that you don't really have a schedule. Perhaps your lack of structure is the problem. It kind of causes you to just not quite know what to do, and so you just go, "Oh, this looks interesting. Oh, I'll do a bit of this," and then you don't really
Yes,
get stuck in.
it's random.
Random studying. All right. Well, that's an interesting point. Thank you for mentioning it, and welcome. And we have one more student. That is it Sadia? Maybe Sadia? Hello?
Yeah, hi, this is Sadia.
Sadia. Okay, welcome. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, same here. So just listening everybody's comments, and it's wonderful to know how people get distracted, and I'm also one of them. Actually, I also get distracted, and my work is also like it's not the same routine every day. It's not structured. But the problem I think facing is not the distraction. I think it's more of discipline.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I don't follow my calendar, and I think that's because my work is mostly online stuff. But when I follow my routine exactly, then I think I'm able to focus more, and I turn off my phone and not turn off, just keep it on mute, and try not to, open other screens. Then I think I'm more able to focus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the thing I diagnose about myself is the discipline of following my calendar or my schedule right on time. Because I work from home, so it's not like I have to go to the office or something like that.
Very interesting, and it makes sense. It's a little bit on the long lines of what Dom was saying about the lack of schedule or lack of discipline, which is another really good point. Do you find that you are better at being disciplined sometimes than others? Does it depend on like how tired you are or if you're worrying about something, say?
Yeah, that's so true. Actually, I am facing that thing because when I'm not feeling well, then I'm unable to follow my calendar. But I'm feeling well, then I just look at my calendar, and the whole calendar is on my phone screen, and I just keep looking at it after 2 hours, every 2 hours. So I think it's a health thing also because I have some health issues as well. But I try to, keep doing my exercise and whatever I can do. So I think this is the thing. If my health and is the I think is the highest priority. If it gets fixed, then I think the calendar, the discipline on my calendar would be the second thing I say. So when I talk to you, Sophie, I just realized that I need to work on my health more than my calendar.
Well, there you go. You've already figured something out from this class. That makes me very happy, Sadia. I'm glad to have helped.
Picking up this topic.
All right. So I think we've all agreed that in some way or another we've either experienced distraction or we have to deal with it regularly. So let's go to our article. As I mentioned before, this is quite a long one, but it's in English. Isn't that great? So you can finish reading it for homework today if you're not sure what to do. There you go, Dom. I've given you the rest of your day's schedule. And we're just going to talk about this particular professor who has been helping people avoid or master, perhaps, discipline or the art of not being distracted. So let's go as we usually do. If you've not been to one of these classes before, we are practicing our reading skills, so don't rush through, just take your time. We'll read a couple of paragraphs each. I'll let you know when to stop. And then we'll pause now and again so that we can talk about vocabulary and what we're reading, and we'll see how we go. So first of all, I'm going to ask Ali, because you're at the front of the list. Could you read the title and the first paragraph for us, please?
Okay. You're distracted. This professor can help. To complete her homework assignment, Maron Hill needed total concentration. The University of Washington senior shut the blinds in her studio apartment. She turned off the music. She took a few deep breaths.
Next one as well, please, Ali.
Okay. Then she plunged into the task. Spent 15 minutes doing only email, and nothing else.
Brilliant. Thank you, Ali. Great start. Okay, so we've got a situation. This is probably something that we've all been in before. Are there any questions about the vocabulary?
Yeah, please. What about blinds? What does that mean?
Excellent question. What are blinds? Anyone know?
Sort of curtain in her
Someone
studio.
not see. Oops.
Okay, go ahead, Martin.
Sort of curtains in her studio, so she
Yes.
could just look out, switch off the light from
Yes.
outside.
Exactly, in her studio. Blinds are similar to curtains, but they're usually horizontal, and you can open or close them by pulling a little string, and you can also pull them right up so that you can look straight out the window. Okay, excellent, thank you. Let's continue. And Anna, your turn. Soon enough.
Okay. First off, sorry. There is a delay in
Is
my
there?
connection. Yes, I didn't intend to interrupt.
Oh, don't worry about it, Anna. It
Okay.
sometimes happens. Don't worry. Just read
Okay.
for us, please.
Soon enough, though, a familiar craving bubbled up. For some people, the rabbit hole of internet distraction begins with cat videos. For Miss Hill, who calls herself a massive weather geek, it starts with a compulsion to check conditions in outer space.
Keep going.
As Mr. Hill plowed plowed through emails, the voice beckoned. If I could only just leave and go to spaceweather.com. But the assignment had her trapped. After a while, she says, staying on email felt more natural.
This one here, which you struggled a little bit with, probably because the word ploughed is new to you. So she ploughed through, okay?
Yes, it's new. What does plowed mean, teacher?
No, what? No, no ideas.
Look through.
Yes, it is look through, Xenia, but it gives a slightly different impression. If you if you plough a field, it's when you it for planting. So it's the same idea that you can move forward, basically. Does anyone have any other questions?
Yes, teacher. Bubbled up. I don't know the meaning. I know bubbles is a layer, something like that.
Exactly a layer. Does anyone want
But
to
I don't
try to
know.
explain? Is if you think of a bubble always floats or rises. You kind of go from the bottom to the top. but they're not forceful. They sort of gently float upwards. So it's that kind of idea. The craving is kind of floating up through her until suddenly she feels like she wants to check the internet. So it's something from within you coming out, bubbling up. Does anyone in this class I'm looking at like cat videos?
Yes, they can be quite funny.
All right, Martin admits to it. Well done, Martin.
Oh, I don't need a cat video. I have my own cat.
Ah, there you go.
Strange enough.
All right, it seems like some of you might be having the odd connection problem. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not sure what to do about that. I'm just going to carry on and hope it improves. If it's really bad... Okay, it seems like most of you are having a problem. What I'm going to do is I will leave the class and come back again, and hopefully that might help.
But now it's okay.
Yeah, now it's okay.
Alright, in that case, I'm just going to stay and we'll persevere. I'm not sure why my connection tells me that it's...
Oh no, it's again.
No.
Yeah, I can't hear her now.
No, it's okay for me too.
Still drill.
Teacher, we couldn't hear you. I think she someone sorry.
I think you can log in again. We can't hear you.
Okay. Are you still there, guys? Yeah. Daniel,
Yeah.
are you there? Because I would just like you to read, if you wouldn't mind, from the email drill.
Oh, yeah, I'm here, but I didn't hear you. Sorry.
No problem.
Okay, the email drill was one of numerous mind training exercises in a unique class designed to raise student awareness about how they use their digital tools. Colleges have experimented with short-term social media blackouts in the past, but Mrs. Hill's course, Information and Contemplation, goes way further. Participants scrutinize their use of technology, how much time they spend with it, how it affects their emotions, how it fragments their attention. They watch videos of themselves multitasking and write guidelines for improving their habits. They also practice meditation during class to sharpen their attention.
Thank you, Daniel. Beautiful reading. This word here is participants. Participants.
Participants.
Questions about vocab? Any questions?
What is scrutinize?
Good one, Ali. This is a great verb. Does anybody know what scrutinize means?
Examining something very thoroughly.
Yes, beautiful. Yes. Thank you, Martin. To examine something very thoroughly and to carefully go over every detail of something. Any other questions? Yep. No? All right, let's continue. We're just going to read a bit more before we start talking so that we can get the idea of what's happening. So, Diana, could you read their professor?
Okay. The professor, David M. Levy, sees these techniques as the template for a grassroots movement that could spur similar investigations on other campuses beyond. Mr. Levy hopes to open a fresh window on the popularized cultural debate about internet distraction and information abundance.
Yep, keep going.
At its extreme, that debate plays out in the writing of authors who the critic Adam Gopnik has dubbed the never better and the never nevers. Those counts do it out over whether the Internet will unleash vast reservoir of human potential, Clay Krisky, or destroy our capacity for concentration and contemplation. Nicholas Carr.
Great. Thank you, Diana. Really lovely. Just one word. This word here is polarized.
Polarize.
Yes, well done. So there's a couple of quite tricky words. Would anyone like to ask any questions?
Yes. What spur does it mean? No.
Good question. What does spur mean? Anyone like to have a guess or a go?
It's a part of cock's leg.
That's absolutely true, Ksenia. It is. But in this case, it's not actually talking about that. That could part of cock's leg, similar investigations. No, it's a verb in this case, right? Yes.
Encourage,
so what does the verb?
It's a verb, encourage.
Yeah, exactly. Encourage or start something off, okay? Thank you, Ksenia. Any other questions?
No.
No. Excellent. Very definitive answer. Thank you. Okay. I just want to talk about this one here for a second. So we've got two groups of authors, I guess. One of them he calls the never betters, and one of them he calls the better nevers. So could anyone try to interpret what would those two titles mean?
I can try.
Okay.
But I'm just taking a shot, okay?
Sure.
Never better means that it's never okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the better never, it's always great.
Actually, Anna, it's the other way round. Yes, I know that it's a bit weird, and this is why I brought it up, but I don't know whether you've ever heard anyone, if you ask somebody, oh, how are you? Occasionally, you might hear someone say, oh, I've never been better, or just never better, which means they're really, really good. They've never been better than they feel right now. So the never betters are always feeling happy, and the better nevers, it's like you're never going to feel better. Okay? So, well done, Anna. Great try. Let's continue. And it is the lovely Dom's turn on college campuses.
Okay. On college campuses, meanwhile, educators struggle to manage what the Stanford University multitasking researcher Clifford Nass describes as a radical shift in the nature of attention. Mr. Nass, who lives in a freshman dormitory, as a dorm parent, sees that shift on students' screens. They write papers while toggling among YouTube and Facebook and Spotify. They text and talk on smartphones. They hang out in lounges where the TV is on.
Great, thank you, Dom. This word here is pronounced lounges. Lounges.
Lounges.
Yes. What is a lounge?
I don't know.
Does anyone know what lounge means?
A place people, for example, a kind of ante room, people watching TV or waiting for something.
Yes, exactly. Actually, a lounge is just like another word for a living room. It's like a relaxing room, a room where you can relax. There's also a verb, a nice phrasal verb, to lounge around. That means that you're kind of not doing a lot. You're being a bit lazy, okay? Okay, and it must be Ksenia's turn amid this scampering attention.
Amid this campering attention, some fear for the future of long-form reading. That was the theme of a keynote speech at this year's conference of the American Historical Association by the group's departing president, William J. Cronon, a professor at the University of Wisconsin at Madison. Speaking to a ballroom of book-worshipping professors, the environmental historian expressed this anxiety about what he called the Anna Karenina problem.
Keep going.
Within 20 years, he wondered, will students manage to master the dozen of hours of attention necessary to get through a lengthy novel like Tolstoy's 9th-century classic? If not, then does that mean for works of history that are even harder to read?
Thank you, Ksenia. Beautiful reading. Okay, any questions? Any questions about any of those 3 paragraphs as I skipped the one just before? No? Are we all following?
No. Does empty means between?
Sorry, what was the word, Anna?
Empty?
Which paragraph is it in?
Its first word, amid.
Ah, amid, sorry. Yeah.
Amid. I'm sorry about the pronunciation. Does it mean between?
Yes. It means more like among, actually, but yes, that's very close. So amongst, among, in the middle of, something like that, okay? All right, I'm going to ask Sadia, because we haven't heard from you for a little while. Could you give me a little quick summary in your own words of what we've read so far, what's happening, and what are we learning about in this article?
Can we start from the first? Can you go back to the first paragraph?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. So can I go one by one on the paragraph, or I have to go through the whole summary?
Just not too long, Sadia. If you can just tell me from what you've understood so far, roughly, what is this about? What are we learning about, and what are we talking about?
So it's mainly basically focusing on that, you know, when someone starts working, they should, you know, cut down the distractions. First of all, they need to shut off their blinds and focus on the work they are doing. And then if they start working on the emails, just focus on the emails and nothing else. And if there's any distraction coming out, like cat videos or something that could be very interesting to watch, and we have a temptation to watch it, we just need to control that urge. It's like a bubble floating, and that bubble, we really love to have it, but you know, it's best that we just keep on focusing on one thing, and then we need to drill the emails and plow the, you know, when someone is reading the emails, they just need to focus and plow on the emails part, not to look at other tasks and not do multitasking. We have a habit of doing multitasking, like seeing the task list and seeing the emails and going on the social media, and this is the problem our current generation is facing. Because they are doing, you know, multitasking, watching TV, and then doing, you know, social media, Facebook and Spotifying and all at the same time. So the author is concerned that that if we keep on doing this thing, that the quality of the work will reduce, and people will the habit of reading I think will diminish after some time. I don't know. This is
yeah, that was absolutely perfect, Sadia. Thank you. A beautiful summary. Thank you very much. All right, so we're going to carry on now. We've obviously got some people worried that our levels of distraction are too high, and they'll prevent us from being able to actually concentrate for long periods of time, especially in the long run. So Martin, could you take over for us and read from When I Ask?
When I ask Mr. Cronin what prompted him to stress that issue, he points to an encounter that illustrates the peril to the discipline of history. A young man came up to him after a lecture he gave at another university. The talk had presented the themes of a 500 to 800 page book that Mr. Cronin is writing about the history of a small Wisconsin town called Portage. From the glacier to the present, the young man told the historian how much he liked the lecture, but lamented that he could never read the book. Looking sad and ashamed, he said he had never read anything that lengthy.
Thank you, Martin. We'll just pause for a second, just in case there are any new words to check. Any questions from anybody?
Peril?
Which word, Anna? Peril. This one here?
Yes.
So it's
Again, to me, it's peril.
Peril, yeah. What is a peril? Anyone know?
A phase, a peril.
Not exactly. There's a very easy word that it means exactly the same thing as peril. Does anyone know what it is?
Danger. Danger.
Yeah. Thank you, Ksenia. Yep, it's just a danger, okay? Illustrates the danger to the discipline of history, for example. Okay, Sadia, could you carry on reading from But Mr. Levy?
But Mr. Levy, a professor in the Information School at University of Washington, sees a problem with many discussions about what technology is doing to our minds. So many of those debates fail to even acknowledge or realize that we can educate ourselves, even in the digital era, to be more attentive. He says, what crucial is education?
Yeah, keep going.
The education of Mr. Levy's students begins with meditation, a short session at the start of every class. I visited his classroom one recent Thursday to watch the ritual unfold.
Okay, we'll pause there. Thank you, Sadia. Really lovely reading. You have such a nice intonation. Any questions? No? All right, so we've seen a ray of hope because apparently we can educate ourselves to be more attentive. Let's read about how meditation is possibly helping. So Ali, it's your turn again, and you can read 14 students for us.
Okay. 14 students, tech and savvy people working toward information-related degrees, join Mr. Levy at a series of desks arranged in a square. Shortly after 3:30 p.m., the professor removes his watch. He picks up a ball-shaped bell. He pings the bell 3 times slowly with a short brown stick.
Thank you, Ali. And Anna, could you carry on the next one, please? Mr. Levy.
Mr. Levy, 62, settles into a dignified stillness, honed over decades of practice. Each year he travels to Mexico and to Beringa. Watch, from week-long retreats where participants meditate in silence, morning to night. A practicing Jew, he also withdraws from technology for a weekly Sabbath, a period of staying offline that lasts from sundown Friday to sundown Saturday. If all this makes you picture a crunchy hippie, don't. With his sightly smile and sad eyes, gentle voice and sensible sweater, Mr. Levy comes across more like a Manhattan psychiatrist.
Okay, thank you, Anna. Thank you, Ali. Anyone have any questions, first of all?
The word savvy, tech-savvy people, some sort of students, but I don't know what savvy is.
Okay, good question, Martin. What does anyone else know what savvy means?
It's like smart.
Yeah, exactly. It means that you have some kind of a knowledge or ability in that area. So if you're tech savvy, then you are good at technology, you know about it, you can use it well, okay? You can use it as a little kind of slang type of suffix at the end of lots of different words. That's quite a handy one. Any other questions? Okay, I have a question for you. Does anybody here meditate?
Yes, I heard about meditate, but I don't meditate. I didn't meditate.
So you've tried to meditate, Dom.
Yes, I have to try, I think, but I have to discover the better way to meditate. Maybe
Okay.
something has to instruct me. So somebody has to instruct me.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Dom has tried possibly in the past, but not been very successful. What do you think, guys, about this idea of starting a class with a bit of meditation? Is this a good way to try and kind of coax your brain into better concentration, do you think?
I think it takes a lot of time because one class of meditation takes about 1 hour and more. I think it's a huge amount of time. I don't know.
In my case, I think meditation could be like, so my point of view is like meditation could be religious, but I am religious, but I think meditation could be just looking at the nature for a minute or so, or just think about the wonderness of the nature, or looking at greenery, looking at mountains. I think this is also part of meditation, even thankful of what we have, and just thinking about it for a minute would be meditation. But I'm sure doing it ritually is the greatest thing to do. But I think in this busy environment, we can do that only.
Absolutely. You bring up both of you great points. And things you most of us have had, but it seems like meditation is coming into its own a little bit. It may be becoming a bit more mainstream. However, the students are meditating. Let's just read a small bit more and find out a tiny bit more about it. So, Diana, could you read "As the chimes from his bell fade"?
As the chimes from his bell fade, the classroom filled with silence. One student sits across ledge with her palms facing up. Another rests her chin, prayer-like or shaped hands. Another stares with a bemused expression. The only sounds come from outside, the squat of a beer, the bang of a door. Those who happen to glance into his seminar in room 420 of Mary Gates Hall might wonder whether the students had fallen asleep.
Thank you, Diana. Gosh, you had a couple of tricky ones. This one here is pronounced cross-legged. Cross-legged.
Cross-legged.
Yep. And this
Pardon, can you repeat?
one is
No, script.
You've got to say the P, and then the ED spelling in this case is pronounced as if it were a T. So the pronunciation is clasped.
Is clasped.
Tricky. So clasped hands are when you put your hands together, okay? And cross-legged is when you cross your legs. Usually you're sitting on the floor, but you can do it on a chair, I suppose. Any other questions?
What is bemused? Or bemused?
Bemused. Does anyone know what bemused means?
It's like confused.
It's sort of a bit similar to confused. Strong, just the opposite.
We couldn't hear you.
Are you there?
Now the sound disappeared again.
Oh no. How about, are you able to hear me?
Now I can hear again.
No, okay.
Okay, for me.
No.
Now I can't hear again.
No, I can't.
Okay, I'm sorry everybody, I don't...
She's frozen.
Going with it really well, but there is lots more to find out about this problem with distraction. And so if you do find this quite a problem, my Facebook page and ask. I hope you will. Enjoy the rest of the article. See you again.
Yeah, see you.
Again, hopefully, and see you again soon. Take care. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
teacher, and bye.
Okay, so I'm going to start again and welcome all of you to this Burbling class. My name is Teacher Amy, and today's topic is distraction, which I was saying before, I think is something that living in 2015, all of us have to deal with in some way or another. If you're learning a language, I think perhaps it's especially important. How do you get yourself to concentrate and not be distracted by the million things that are around us all day, every day, pinging and beeping, so that you can actually learn something? We're going to read a really interesting article today, which is reasonably long. We probably won't have time to finish this, but you're very welcome to finish it by yourself. And along with discussing the theme of distraction, we will also be practicing our pronunciation and hopefully learning some new vocabulary. So do come along in if you've booked a slot with us. And while we're waiting, let me just let you know that there are a couple of pages that you can check out if you would like some more information, or if you just want to keep in touch with some people on Verbling. Now that you've joined us, you might want to have a look at my Verbling Teacher Facebook page, or the Facebook page of any of the other Verbling teachers. If you like a few of the teachers, perhaps that's one way of staying on track as you go through your working week. The other place to go, if you would like more information.
So when I was younger, of course, it was more difficult then, and you could get distracted, but I thought I dealt with it, I remember. So I have never really felt it was a problem.
Well, that is great. It's good to have you in the class. What types of things? Do you remember any particular things that would distract you, or would it depend on your mood?
It was more when I was young, I liked to do math problems a lot. And I knew if I started doing a problem, I would just go on and on until I've solved it. And that could be difficult then, because then I was not able to do very much in my problem.
You got addicted to maths.
Computer programming, and it was the same thing, that when you are really working on a program, that's just you're just using all your time on it and can't really get time for anything else.
Absolutely. I think this is something that's quite personal. We'll find out whether I'm right or wrong, but to me, I think people get distracted by very different things depending on who they are. So we will find out. But thank you for sharing with us, Martin, and welcome. Okay. Ksenia, hello, and how are you today? Is to the Verbling teacher page, which is where you'll find everything, hopefully everything, you need to know about a particular teacher. You'll see their schedule, so that includes both slots for private tutoring sessions and also their classes. You can see who they are, where they're from. You can watch some of their previous videos from different classes and their introductory video. And you can also write us a message. If you have any further questions or you just want to get in touch, then do go over to the Verbling teacher page and use that wonderful messaging feature. So, that all behind us, let's get back to the topic at hand and say hi to everybody. So, Martin, first of all, how are you doing today?
Very well, thank you. And you?
I'm great, thank you very much. Our topic today is distraction. Sorry?
And the weather has improved a lot recently in Copenhagen. So we
Excellent!
have had a nice day.
That is very good news, and hopefully it will be on its way to summer now.
Yeah.
What I was going to ask you, Martin, is how does the concept of distraction play a role in your life, if at all?
Not so much anymore. You know, I retired last year, and I just do what I like at the moment.
Hello and good evening or good morning or perhaps good afternoon to all of you. Welcome to this Verbling class. My name is Teacher Amy, and today's class is all about distraction. I think this is something that everybody in 2015 has to deal with at some point. And if you're trying to learn a language, I'm sure that it's especially relevant. So if you'd like to talk about this problem, or maybe we shouldn't call it a problem. No sound. Thank you. Oh, not again.
I
okay.
can't hear anything. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm going to start this class again.
Hello.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
now I can hear you.
Excellent. Thank you for letting me know about that, Martin. Otherwise, I'm chatting away to myself and no one can hear.
Hello, I'm fine, thank you.
Nice to see you. How do you find distraction? Does it play any kind of a role in your life?
Yes, of course. While I listen to you, I check my social networks on my
You're so
iPhone.
honest, Ksenia.
Yes, yes.
All right, so social networks, I think, is probably going to be one that comes up a lot. And Ksenia has already admitted that she's checking her social networks right now. So none of you have got anything to feel bad about. Ksenia, what do you do about it? Do you try to, I don't know, do you try to stop yourself from being distracted, or do you just sort of freely go with the flow in your life most of the time?
No, I think it's my part of my life nowadays, so it's okay, I think, because I have only a few hours per day to check my mail, to answer some questions, so I try to mix and lessons on verbal with checking.
All right, so in other words, you're kind of using it to like save time and maybe do a bit of multitasking, and it's not too much of a problem for you.
Yes.